telling me, by the way, Mayor Strickland, I think there's 540 cities in North Carolina. I had no idea there's that many cities in North Carolina. I'm curious how many cities there are in Tennessee. But it's amazing how most cities are small. Most of America are small towns.
No doubt.
By the way, Brian Jordan's father lives in Salisbury, North Carolina.
Whose father?
Brian Jordan.
Really? I didn't know that.
Ah,
That's how I met her. His whole family, I think, is from there. It's like the internet city of America or something, an extraordinarily strong internet connection, which made me want to move there, actually. And move to Memphis for the barbecue.
Yeah. Don't cut us out. You need to spend some months of
and the music,
And music, absolutely, and the culture.
Well, barbecue and music, what a way to kick off our live. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joanne Massey. I'm the director of the Office of Business Diversity and Compliance for the City of Memphis. And I want to welcome you all today to the City of Memphis lunch for Operation HOPE's 1 Million Black Business Initiative. You'll hear about the partnership with Operation HOPE to nurture and grow Memphis businesses from our panelists, City of Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland, Greater Memphis Chamber President Beverly Robinson, founder and CEO, Chairman John Bryan of Operation HOPE. Now, I'd like to turn it over to Lance Triggs, President for Program Operations for Operation HOPE. Lance, take it away.
Well, thank you, Joanne, and thank all of you for participating in this huge announcement that we're making for the City of Memphis. The 1 Million Black Business Initiative, also known as 1MBB, was born because of several factors that impacted Black-owned businesses over the years. These factors consist of systemic racial barriers, the COVID-19 pandemic, which unfortunately has decimated Black-owned businesses, as well as social justice events this past year, like the George Floyd situation, to name a few. But over the next 10 years, Operation HOPE, along with our partners, Shopify, the City of Memphis, the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, First Horizon Bank, and Church of God in Christ have launched the 1 Million Black Business Initiative, designed to successfully equip Black-owned businesses with the tools that they need to succeed, to make a significant impact by reducing economic inequality and increasing economic self-sufficiency for African Americans. You see, these tools consist of Shopify's $130 million 10-year commitment to Operation HOPE that will provide an easy-to-use e-commerce platform that allows Black-owned businesses to start, grow, and manage their business. This e-commerce platform by Shopify will include a wealth of resources and support to help them grow and turn their ideas into thriving businesses, and to help also existing businesses accelerate their growth. With the Shopify e-commerce platform, it will allow those businesses to create and customize an online store and have access to 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support. Now, in addition to Shopify, because there's more to the 1MBB platform, Operation HOPE and the 1MBB initiative will offer additional tools like an online self-paced business plan builder to help Black-owned businesses to build that business plan, which is the navigation to success for any business. The 1MBB platform will also offer a weekly webinar series tied to various subjects for small business, as well as an 8-week Hope Business in a Box virtual and face-to-face entrepreneurship training course. And then that will also include one-on-one financial coaching. And then thanks to our Hope Corps volunteer program, we have professionals in the business sector who will serve as specialists and mentors for all Black-owned businesses, new and existing. Now, we want to thank, again, the City of Memphis, the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, First Horizon Bank for their support. And because that's so important, Operation HOPE is challenging all private sector, public sector, and community sectors to join us in creating and supporting 1 million new and existing Black business owners and entrepreneurs by the year 2030. So we're excited that you're here with us this afternoon, and we're looking forward to a great discussion. So why don't we go ahead and get started with our distinguished group and begin our discussion. So Mayor Strickland, under your leadership, we know that Memphis has undertaken a number of programs to help improve financial dignity. How do you see all these programs working together to create a better and stronger city of Memphis?
I appreciate it, Lance. First, I got to note that this has been a really rough 12 months. And right now we're in the biggest winter snowstorm we've had in 2 decades, and we're having challenges with our water supply. So I'm happy to be here when we can celebrate some good news. Public-private partnerships are very important. It's been a kind of a hallmark of our administration for the 5 years we've been in office, because government cannot do it alone. I do want to talk about what government's done. When we took over, we said we're going to contract more with MWBEs. Everyone knows it's minority and women-owned business enterprises. When we took over, our contract spend was about 12%. Under the leadership of Joanne Massey, we have upped that, almost doubled it to over 23%, almost 24%. And let me tell you what that 23% means. $103 million to MWBEs. Let me go even further.
Is that separate from the $200 million that you committed for capital projects, or is that part of the $200 million?
No, that's not even counting that yet. That's what we did last year. The 200's looking forward. That's what so that's 103 million we spent last year, which I think may be a record. Joanne may tell me, but 72% of that, 75 million, was with Black-owned businesses.
Wow.
We've in the last year, we signed the largest contract ever with a Black-owned business, and we had the largest MWBE project, over $200 million redo of our convention center. But this is what I mean when I say government can't do it alone. If you add up all the business transacted in Memphis, going to the grocery store, buying insurance, hiring a lawyer, in a city that is 65% African-American, only 1% is done with African-American owned businesses. 1%. So even though we're doing, even at 12% or 23% or somewhere, government can't alone move up that number. And it's this partnership with Operation HOPE and this 1 million new Black-owned businesses, the chamber's involvement, the private sector here, all rowing the boat in the same direction. We got to overcome a lot of history, a lot of discrimination, a lot of purposeful holding back. We got to do a lot of work to overcome that, but I think we can do it. And I'm excited about being a partner in it.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Strickland. And we have complete confidence that under your leadership from the public sector side, it will get done. So very impressive. And so President Robertson, I know that as President and CEO of the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, my question to you is, what do you think makes the Memphis business community unique? And how can it serve as an example for business leaders across the United States?
And Lance, before she answers, it should not go unnoticed that in the city where they had the most basic problems with sanitation workers and basic human dignity for Black people, where Dr. King gave his life to take down a whites only sign, essentially, it should not go unnoticed that a person of color is running the chamber in one of the most important, iconic cities in the entire country. I think Dr. King would be so very proud. And we walk past these sort of milestones every day. I don't want to walk past it. I want to stop for a moment and celebrate it. She's not a Black leader. She's a great leader who happens to be Black. But she is part of this sort of resurgence, this rising of a phoenix rising in Memphis that is 1,000 points of light. So kudos to you, Ms. Rose.
Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the question. You know, Memphis has an incredible business community, and it is and has been very proactive during this social justice and health pandemic that we've all been experiencing. And in addition to the efforts of the city of Memphis, I would submit to you that the Memphis business community and the Memphis business community in general has been relatively calm due to a series of equity-based discussions, economic equity discussions that have been held in Memphis, Tennessee. Less than 10 days from the first protest in Memphis after the death of George Floyd, the Greater Memphis Chamber convened about 60 business executives, clergy leaders, and activists at the National Civil Rights Museum for a powerful listening session with activists. Now, at the first meeting, we did something that is rarely done. We said, everybody else be quiet. We only want to hear at this meeting the voices of the activists. And with clergy telling them to be quiet, I didn't believe it happened, but it did. So we listened to the activists and they spoke. And I'm telling you, they identified a lot of economic equity issues. During the second and third meetings, we listened to the voices of business and the voices of the clergy. And at the end of that third meeting, there were 4 issues that were identified that we wanted to tackle: living wage, wealth equity and neighborhood reinvestment, MWBE contracting, which is what this is really all about, but it's very focused and targeted, and then corporate and community board participation. This led to a series of smaller group meetings where 2 business leaders co-chaired each one of the committees. The end result was a set of recommendations that talked about how we would begin to make progress within each one of these areas. So a set of recommendations were brought to the board, to our chairman's circle, our highest level of investors. It was approved and adopted. And now we're in the process of developing executional plans. And while all of that is good and great, I believe that the greatest thing that came from these sessions were the relationship building, the trust, and the mutual respect that was gained as a direct result of them being in a room, working together, talking together, and coming up with solutions. So that was a critical piece. And I believe that's unprecedented among cities. I don't believe many cities sit down with activists and clergy and business leaders and come up with solutions that are collaborative and that advance the work of that specific city. So I would submit to you that that's one reason why Memphis was calm, because we listened. We didn't just talk, we listened.
No, thank you for that, President Robertson. You know, at Operation Hope, we call that the church of what's happening now. And so we are so excited to have the Memphis Chamber of Commerce part of this, not only a launch and announcement, but carrying us through to meet our commitments over the next 10 years. So thank you.
Hey, Lance, 75%, it appears about 70 to 75% of her employees also for senior management team are women. It's again, another incredible state of progressive, inclusive thinking. It's not about replacing anybody. It's about expanding the table and adding a chair. Expanding the table and adding a chair. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, Chairman. And that kind of leads to the next question for you. You know, we know that you have proposed and led a number of audacious initiatives since the founding of Operation Hope back in 1992. And I can say I've been blessed to be part of all of them, like financial literacy for all in the early 90s. You know, that term, nobody even was using the term financial literacy in the early 90s. Banking on our future, making sure that financial literacy is taught in schools across the country in 1996. Hope Coalition America, which was a response to 9/11, as well as Project 5117, and now the 1 Million Black Business Initiative. What makes 1MBB unique, and how do you hope this program will fundamentally change the course of Black business creation and expansion in the United States?
Well, it's not a program, it's a movement. But let me step back for a minute. I want to commend Joanne also, who I'm sure will have a chance to speak, but she's just like a real quiet storm. Not really so quiet, but when the mayor's talking, she's not trying to compete with his voice. She's trying to make him look good, the city look good. Every time I hear from her, which is often on social media, she's always commending somebody else. It's never about her. She's talking about some business owner or some lady or young man or corporation doing well or something the mayor's done or what I've done. I mean, it's embarrassing how often I think I need to hire as a PR agent. She's out there retweeting and sharing because she's just all in on progress and uplift for all. And we need more people passionate like that. The Bible suggests be hot or be cold. If you're lukewarm, I'll spat you out. Translation, even God doesn't like mediocrity. And that's what makes a great city, right? You have a few dozen people like that. Brian Jordan in his absence, we'll talk about him. You got Johnny over at what used to, Johnny Moore used to be called SunTrust, now it's Truist Bank. Johnny Moore, former professional football player, now businessman. All these heroes and sheroes in town who add to the texture and culture of a great city. It's not buildings, it's people who make the difference. And so that goes to your question, Lance. This is not a program. It is a movement. I actually believe we can stop everything else at Operation Hope, and we got a lot of stuff going on, and just do this alone. It would be an absolute game changer. Look, I think that we're in a third reconstruction. I'm going to do this quick, because I want to get into the robust conversation. Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. I think it's interesting that we're back in Memphis. You know, really on the heels of Dr. King's Poor People's Campaign that brought him here in 1968. Talking about poor whites, there's more poor whites in America than poor anybody else, poor blacks, poor Latinos, Asians, lifting everybody up. And unfortunately, he lost his life. But rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. And then on the heels of COVID-19, social justice reckoning on Black America, it's 40 years in the makings, the highest unemployment since the Great Depression, really a civics lesson on what it is to be an American of January 6th and what it's not. All this within 6 months. Is this a coincidence? Or is this an opportunity for us to reset? Because history doesn't feel historic when you're sitting in it. It feels like another day. That's it. But that doesn't mean the moment you're in is not, in fact, historic. So the last movement was in the streets, and that was about race and the color line, right? They got us from the fields of first Reconstruction to really the fields to farming, farming our own. And then it was from the farming to the streets, that's civil rights, the second Reconstruction. And I think the third Reconstruction is from the streets to the suites. And it's about race and the color line, moving to class and poverty. And the new color is green. And it's what unifies Memphis and every city in America. We all can agree we want more of this. We're better together. And 96% of all Black businesses, unfortunately, where you create wealth, are sole proprietorships with no employees. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. So the way you create wealth in America, our royalty in America, is business. We had to actually create something to celebrate in America, which is why we created celebrity. Celebrity is an American creation. In Europe, they have royal classes with bloodlines and all that stuff, all around the world. In America, we created celebrity to give something to celebrate, because the real engine of this country of wealth creation is business. But the Freedmen's Bank of 1865, the failure of it, did not allow us to understand free enterprise, capitalism, economic ownership, and opportunity. We're not dumb and we're not stupid. It's what we don't know that we don't know what we think we know. Because when the rules are published and the playing field is level, professional sports, the arts, as two examples, African Americans kill it. We're even doing it in tennis, in F1 racing now. I mean, you give us a level playing field, and we absolutely kill it because we have the talent. But no one gave us the rule book on free enterprise and capitalism. So we're in this new era. The third Reconstruction, I believe, is social justice through an economic lens. Social justice through an economic lens. How do you achieve that? How do you manifest that? George Floyd, was already mentioned, was murdered in a 500 credit score neighborhood. 100% of all the in-place shootings by police in this country in the last 5 years have been in 500 credit score neighborhoods, sub 600 credit score. Is that an accident? Is that a coincidence? I love math because it doesn't have an opinion. Here's another opinion. Citigroup report issued recently that discrimination against Blacks alone, mostly Blacks in business, in the last 20 years alone, Beverly, resulted in a net loss of $20 trillion of GDP. Trillion. In the last 20 years, not 100 years, not 200 years, not going back to 1619. In the last one, what's that? 20, that's within the 20th century, 21st century.
Yes. Mhm.
So, you know, north of the year 2000,
2000.
we've lost the tax, the levy on all of us of racism and bias and short-sightedness has been $16 trillion. And if we just knock it off right now and get to business and get on the same team, which is all of us on the same team, because you can take no pleasure from the fact there's a hole in my end of our boat. I tell my rich friends need my poor friends to do better, if only to stay rich. I hope I'm not going too fast here. This is the conversation I think we need to be having here. That if we just knock it off, it's an additional $1 trillion a year of GDP, which would pay for all the stimulus money, by the way, which has been throwing into the economy, and juice the economy by 2 or 3%. The economy is $20 trillion a year. Black folks could add an additional trillion with no additional effort. Now, 30 million businesses in America, Mayor, 2.6, 2.7 million of them Black businesses. 96% of those don't have an employee, which means you don't have books and records. You don't have a banker. The bank teller doesn't count. You don't have infrastructure. You don't have systems. You can't build wealth. That's different from making money. You can't build wealth unless you build wealth in your sleep. That's compounded. And you need employees and infrastructure and girth and technology to compound. And worse, we're now moving to a technology-centered world. And that's been supercharged with COVID. Where'd you shop on Christmas, everybody? This is a bit of a rhetorical question. Online. I mean, we went to certain stores, but a lot of it, am I wrong? Online. Are Black folks online? Are we starting e-commerce businesses?
Yes.
I mean, so in some ways, this is the reason I think we can stop everything else we're doing. We're not going to, but we can stop everything. Just do this. This is everything. You fix this, you fix everything. You fix jobs. You fix wealth creation. You fix income and wealth inequality gap. You fix social injustice. You fix the tax base of a city. Is that right, Mayor? So you fix family stability. And so we have partnered. Lance, can I tell just quickly about how this works?
Oh, yeah, please. No, absolutely.
We've partnered with the second largest e-commerce company in the world, Shopify. Wherever you're shopping online, if it's a department store, there's a good chance underneath it is Shopify. And we did it for a very simple reason. And we're going to give $25,000. First time ever saying this on a broadcast. We're going to commit $25,000 to each business that signs up to this in Memphis and every other city that signs up. The mayor, Alexander of Salisbury, North Carolina, I believe, is watching. She and I have had a conversation about her being a role model for smaller cities, as Mayor Strickland is going to be a role model for the cities in the middle. And we're going to commit $25,000 in a package of resources. Now, you come in one MBB, you get you free 700 credit score communities training, because all these businesses are working off their own balance sheet. We're raising credit scores 54 points in 6 months, 120 points in 24 months. Nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. We're going to give you small business and entrepreneurship training, free, sponsored. We're going to give you a business plan you can do online, even at night when you're off of work, free, online, sponsored. Then we're going to give you a Shopify license online for 4 months, free. Shopify's domain name search and domain name, free. Shopify will sponsor the website for you. Listen now, free. I'm breaking this down. Shopify's going to give you the payment systems. Think about what this would cost you yourself if you set this up. They're going to give you the payment system so you can get paid in a progressive digital world. The entire payment system delivered and just handed to you. Free. They're a $200 billion company. They're going to give you the fulfillment, the e-storefront. So your electronic website, your electronic storefront. Listen now, free. No, it's an investment, sponsored. Because you got to put in the work. Fulfillment systems. Now you get an order and they help you fulfill that. Free. Beverly, am I making sense here? I think she gave me an amen.
Yes, I did say amen and hallelujah too.
Okay, it gets better. You make your first sale. Black folks are good at selling stuff. You make your first sale. They're going to give you a credit line. Please listen now. A credit line against the sale.
Unbelievable.
You make another sale. They're going to give you a credit line increase. It's not tied to your credit score. It's not tied to your asset base. There's no loan against your house. Doesn't involve a bank. It's on their platform. They can see what you're doing. If you prove you can sell, they want you to sell more. Okay, now, we've gotten a bunch of consulting. I'm about to stop. I don't want to go to church here. We got consulting firms, bankers, including First Horizon there in town. And I believe Truist has made a commitment as well. Bankers have volunteered to help you figure out how to make sure you make the right application before you apply. We have accountants who are committing hours, marketing executives, IT firms. Think about all of the pieces you need for your special forces team to gird you up as a business. We've gotten them to commit 2 hours each to to invest into your business success. That package is $25,000 minimum. It's all yours for free. And most people, my guess, who live in Memphis probably would qualify for the earned income tax credit. So if you come to us and we find you qualify for it, you make $35,000 a year, you have 3 children, government probably owes you about $3,500. If you don't know what that is, congratulations, you get 3 years of it. That's 10 grand, give or take. It's a child tax credit because of COVID. That's $2,000 per kid. This is all cash. Was that 16 grand I just mentioned? So now you have another $16,000 in cash, a little bit of money for your business, some money to pay off your credit cards. Maybe you put some money aside, go shopping and go to dinner with your family, go on vacation, whatever, right? Join the chamber. This is going to change your life. This will change your life. And now you're self-reliant. And whether the business long-term succeeds or fails, you're different. You're different because now you know you can. I'll stop now. My nephew said that his friends look at me as an entrepreneur, Beverly, and they say, well, how does your uncle do that? But now he says, with 1MBB, they're going to say, why aren't we doing that? Boom, at scale. And every time a new company comes on board, this thing just gets bigger. Every time a mayor commits, this thing just gets bigger. I had I can't mention them by name, but a university black one last night said they're going to be the first HBCU that makes the commitment of thousands of new black businesses. Imagine going to HBCUs and chambers and black chambers and nonprofits and faith-based organizations and mayors and governors, and everybody says, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. You change America at scale.
All I got to say to that is amen. And I thank you, Chairman Bryant, for expounding and really pulling the gems from the 1 Million Black Business Initiative and what it all entails. And so for those who are viewing this event, if you're not fired up and ready to go, I don't know what's going to get you fired up and ready to go. Now, I have some questions for the group.
Hey,
oh, yes. I have some questions.
Hey, Lance, I just wanted.
Go ahead, Joanne.
No, I just wanted to say, you said that the chat is all fired up. Let me tell you, John, Memphis is fired up. We are so proud to be the first city to commit. And for all Memphians, I know it was said, but I just want to accentuate, you all know how we are as Memphians, and you know that we believe in ourselves and we believe that we are the best. I just want to let y'all know, don't miss this opportunity. Don't let it go to waste. We're the first large city to sign up for this initiative, and I'm just so proud, and I just wanted to make sure I said that so everyone could hear it.
Yeah, well, Joanne, we know when you speak, it's like E.F. Hutton, everybody's listening. So thank you for sharing that. And it starts with the mindset, and what Joanne is saying, and what John and Mayor Strickland and President Robertson have all been covering is we got to go from a surviving mentality to a thriving and winning mentality. And so with that said, I have some questions for the group. And so question number one is, why is now the right time in America's history for the 1 Million Black Business Initiative? And what specifically can civic and business leaders do to support the initiative?
It's the right time because we can't take any more of where we've been. I mean, we kicked this can of social justice or injustice or moral laziness down the road as long as we can. George Floyd was not so much an action as it was a symptom. That's a symptom that there's something really wrong in our country. January 6th was a symptom. There's something really wrong in our country. Our political divisions are a symptom. There's something really wrong in our country. Like everybody wants to be an American, but Americans. Like we just want to argue with each other over stupid stuff. Like racism is like scientifically stupid. Like you cannot segregate your heart and integrate your pocket. It doesn't make any sense. But we still do it. Business plans based on racism and bias and discrimination and leaving some people off the field is a failed business plan. It's not my opinion. Look at the statistics in the country. Places that are diverse grow. Companies that are diverse grow. It's profitable. So we want Memphis to be a symbol for the New South, a symbol for the nation of how you come up, and everybody wins. Atlanta did it. We got work to do in Atlanta. We can't rest on our laurels here. We got a lot of poverty, poor Black people here. I don't care what the hype is. There's a lot of poor Black people. We need to do more here. But there are symbols and samples of where this has worked. And so this is a massive movement of common sense, but this moment is pregnant for opportunity and action. I think the universe is screaming out for us to do something. I really do. I mean, what do we want to do? Make some money, go on a vacation once a year, say you're raising your children, die. Is that your life? Or does everybody want a legacy? Does everybody watching this, including my most wealthy and well-heeled friends, want to know that the world knew you were here and you left it better than you found it? Because what we do now will last 100 years. That's why I'm all in, Lance. And I just think that this is the way you do it, where everybody wins. We do this. The mayor gets more tax base. Crime goes down. Families get organized. General wealth gets passed down. The chamber gets more members. The members hire more people. The drug dealer becomes a legal entrepreneur. I mean, all a gang leader is a frustrated union organizer. That's all he is. All a drug dealer is an illegal, unethical entrepreneur. He understands import, export, finance, marketing, wholesale, retail, customer service, security, territory, logistics. But no one who mentored them, who gave them the chance, the shot to be successful. Steve Jobs, had he been adopted, he was adopted by the wrong family in the wrong neighborhood, would have been the biggest drug dealer on the south side of Chicago, now the founder of Apple. We are all endowed with gifts. We have to nurture them into legitimacy. Business is legitimacy at scale, and everybody wins. And so I'm just so excited because this is it is that moment, Lance. It is. I want to hear from the others, but I can feel it in my bone. I get frustrated because I run out of time every day, not because I run out of ideas.
Right. President Robertson,
the mayor wanted to say something. The mayor wants to and then
yeah.
Robert,
the mayor.
Give you a chance to weigh in, especially because it's tied into what you're a leader of with civic and business leaders of the city of Memphis. So over to you.
I'm going to defer to the mayor for a moment, and then I'll come back. I'll pick up.
Okay.
And I won't be long. I was just because it'll tie probably right into what Beverly's going to say. I agree with everything John said, but I want to add an additional reason why I think it's the right time. Because of the tragedy that happened this summer, it raised everyone's everyone is now aware of the issue. Some people weren't. They just weren't. And they didn't realize you have to make intentional steps to rectify what's happened in the past. And we're just talking about economics. We're not talking about it, although there's issues with education and other issues. just on economic, we have to make intentional steps to rectify our past intentional actions. And more people are aware. And let me just give you a practical. It's great the government's involved. It's great that the businesses are involved. But if the citizens of Memphis aren't going to spend their money at Black-owned businesses, we can have the best intentions and it's just not going to work. Now, I do have to, the only thing I disagree with my friend John is I don't buy anything online. Now, I have to admit, most of the Christmas shopping is not done by me. It's done by my wife. But I shop in person at businesses in Memphis. I bought my wife's gift at I think Beverly's knows Cheryl Pesci.
Yes.
One of our
Yes.
Black-owned businesses here in Memphis.
Black entrepreneur.
She's expanded here, and but you have to make that intentional effort. And what's going on in Memphis is we're celebrating Black Restaurant Week. We're identifying those Black-owned businesses to go to and to spend our money with. And that's, I think you got to get all the consumers aware of that too, Black and white.
So, Mr. Mayor, let me challenge you on that a little bit. The Black restaurant can start a Shopify e-restaurant and do deliveries. The Black hair salon can start an e-store parallel to their physical store and sell their products from the salon that they have online. They also can do a subscription to show people how to do your hair at home, a subscription service online. Every business that you do business with physically in Memphis can also have an e-storefront. It's not an or, it's an and. So you can sit at home and still support Memphis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me just echo what the mayor said. Now is the right time because there does indeed seem to be an awakening of consciousness about these issues that have occurred historically over the last 400 years. And some of those tragic outcomes have resulted in the crime, the poverty, the homelessness, the housing disparity, health disparity, educational inequities. And these are things that are pervasive now. It didn't take a year to create them. It took hundreds of years for us to get to this. And this really is the first time I have heard of a comprehensive strategy or movement designed to put all the elements together to help, first of all, train and educate those business owners so that they will have the equipment and the educational foundation to be able to advance their business. And so it's the right time because a lot of forces have had to come together. And one has to be vision. Without the vision, the people perish. We've been perishing for a long time. We've got some vision now at the table. And frankly, I think businesses can do a lot to support this initiative. They can share information about the program. So can individuals. Individuals use social media. We got lots of platforms and they've got lots of followers. So they can communicate to them. We can refer businesses to your website so that they can get more information about it. We can feature blogs that talk about it. You know, there are lots of blogs, and those blogs are not just local blogs, they're international blogs, they're national blogs. We can host webinars about it. There are sororities and fraternities. The Divine Nine is out there. Civic organizations are out there. So there are a lot of things that both business as well as individuals can do to make sure that the people who need to receive this information get it. And there are lots of grassroots, neighborhood-based businesses that need to be able to scale up. And this program or initiative or movement, if you will allow them to do just that.
That's right. Now, thank you for that. So now the final question I have is for Mayor Strickland. And so Mayor Strickland, again, just thank you for hosting this, not only announcement of the 1MBB movement, but this event that will help so many Black businesses in the city of Memphis take advantage of all these resources and tools that are available. But my question to you, Mayor Strickland, is what advice or guidance would you give to other cities and mayors who are interested in tackling the challenge of impacting Black businesses so that they can replicate the City of Memphis success?
Well, it's several fold. And the first thing we did when we came to city government, there were 3 different offices who did MWBE purchasing. And when there's multiple offices, multiple people in charge, to me, no one's in charge. So we took office, we combined them all under, and I hired a superstar, and she just got back on screen, Joanne Massey, to lead the effort. And we've invested in her office. It used to have I don't know how many couple employees. Now they've multiplied 4 or 5 times that big. And that's the first thing, because internally we had to do better. If I'm going to go out to the business community and say, you do better, and they turn the finger at me and said, well, you're only doing 12%, so we had to do better. Then we have to partner with the business community to do their part. And that's where our partnership with Beverly is going to really pay off. We've also partnered with the chamber and our county government and a local university, Christian Brothers University, in what we call the 800 initiative. John talked earlier about the number of businesses that only have 1 employee, the owner. Well, we created the 800 initiative sort of to help those businesses the way this 1 million movement is going to help the brand new businesses. So we go in and say, I'm dreaming, if we could get 800 of these businesses all to grow by 5 employees, that would be a huge impact in Memphis. So the university's helping, the county's helping, Joanne, the chamber, and it's this 800 initiative, which, by the way, the city of Knoxville, Tennessee, has actually just duplicated. And then this sign on to this program. And if we all commit, we can get 1 million. We can hit that mark. If every city, every chamber, large and small, all are moving in the same direction, we can do it and change this country in a positive way. So, but you got to do all these steps. And then lastly, I forgot the one important thing: measure your results and hold yourself accountable. We do it with most data every month. I've forgotten how often. Every 6 months do we do with the MWB or so, and we just put it out there and hold ourselves accountable. And internally at city government, part of your evaluation as an employee is how are you doing on your MWBE purchase? Because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of people involved to move the numbers.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for that, Mayor. Now, before we allow our distinguished guests to provide some brief closing comments, I know in the audience, many of you are like, well, how can we get involved? How can we get started? So we're going to put up a graphic on the screen so you can see exactly how you can get involved, whether a partner to the movement or as a Black-owned small business, how you can start your journey to success. And I know that you can also go to the Operation Hope website at www.operationhope.org/1 M as in Mary, BB as in Black business. So what I'd like to do at this time, President Robertson, any closing comments or words of wisdom that you would like to share for our audience?
Well, I think this is the first time that I have ever heard of a program that offers training, entrepreneurship training, business plan development training, credit score training for free. I have never heard. Those are services for which I had to pay. My husband and I have had to pay as we have become entrepreneurs and then we have grown our business. So here's a once in a lifetime opportunity for businesses to take advantage of something that you don't have to pay for. Nothing in life is free, but let me tell you something. This is an opportunity to secure resources for your business that happen to be free. And it can result in exponential growth of Black businesses, lower unemployment rates, more investable businesses, among the Fortune 500 companies. We don't know what we'll create as a direct result of this program. Some of these businesses may be on Wall Street someday in the Fortune 500. Increased skill level of Black employees, decreased poverty, decreased crime, stronger African-American communities. So at the end of the day, I think when we achieve this goal, we'll be able to tangibly see the outcomes and the benefits of our efforts.
Thank you for that. And amen to the fact that it's not if, it's when, because we're going to make it happen. Chairman Bryant, any closing words of wisdom for our audience? And then we'll go to Mayor Strickland.
I'm just so happy I met Beverly. I hope she doesn't mind me calling her Beverly. My mother raised me right, but Miss Beverly Robertson. I'm just so happy I met her. She's an inspiration, and you know, it's one thing to create something, Mr. Mayor, Joanne, but it's another thing for the customer, the marketplace, to affirm that it's the right thing. And I've been such in the engine room on this, and I'm all in. I'm gonna do it, but it's nice to hear for fresh ears. Yeah, this is it. This is everything you think it is. So Lance, I love math and numbers. Let me get to leave people with how this is possible. It sounds nice, 1 million Black businesses. Let me tell you how this is possible. I just did some simple math. There are 1.5 million nonprofits in America. If we got 10,000 of those nonprofits to create 100 businesses a year for 10 years, you're done. So 1.5 million. I'm not talking about the mayors I'm not talking about getting 10 governors to do 10,000 a year, which is doable. We already have one governor, Rhode Island. I'm not talking about top 50 mayors to commit. I mean, the mayors, I don't know if we announced it, but Mayor Strickland's going to commit 500 businesses during his term. He may do more, but that's a start, by the way. Great, thank you very much. But get 50 mayors to do 1,000 over 10 years, which is less than what he's committing, by the way, aggregately. To get 100 small town important mayors like Mayor Alexander to commit 100 a year. Top 500 chambers to do 100 a year. These are not big numbers. 50 HBCUs to do 100 a year. 250 community colleges to do 100 a year. 1,000 churches to do 100 a year. Leave those numbers out. I didn't mention corporations. I didn't mention local governments, county governments. Leave all that out. Just 10,000 nonprofits committing 100 a year. And this is a fundraiser for nonprofits, Lance. I didn't even get to that. I'm gonna do this very quickly. You're gonna commit, let's say you come and say, John, I wanna help you. You're in Memphis now. Several of the mayor's doing. You run a church, you run a nonprofit. You wanna help. You say, I wanna help you create 100 businesses a year, one in BB. Fine. We're gonna commit $25,000 to you per business. That's $250,000 by my calculation. You take that $250,000 calculation and you go to the Memphis Community Foundation, the local branch offices of Truist or whoever else who have a local giving budget. And you say, we're partnering with Shopify and Operation Hope and maybe the city, I don't know, maybe the chamber, but certainly we already got $250,000 of capital for the businesses, all the training, all that's done, turnkey. We need a staffing to stand up, 2 or 3 people to help do the marketing and support to get them into the system. We need, $50,000, $75,000 a year. I think philanthropists will buy that all day and all night. I just helped you raise money. Sorry, we just helped you raise money. And so the nonprofit asked me, Beverly, well, how much of that money should we I'm transparent. How much of that money, that $50,000, $75,000 we just raised, which we couldn't have raised before from the Bank of Who's What's here in Memphis, how much of that must we co-share with Operation Hope, 501c3 nonprofit? Answer, 0. You keep every dime. Did you hear me? So now you're helping your community. You would have done it anyway, by the way, but it would have cost you money. It cost you time. You've done it anyway because you have a good heart. But now we just helped you stand up a new program that's cutting edge that might help your nonprofit actually add 5 or 6 figures to your budget. And you keep every dime. I love this because it's just simple.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Chairman Bryant. And then Mayor Strickland will give you the last word. First of all, thank you so much for taking time. We know you have a city to run, so I want to respect that. And so any closing words of wisdom from you, sir?
Well, thank you, John, for allowing us to be the first city. And if it's okay with you, Lance, I want to give a little time to Joanne here, because John was right. She'll stay in the background all we want, but she's really the star of this operation, and I want her to shine here a little bit.
Yes, she is. Well, thank you, Mayor. You're so kind. And that's my cue to actually turn it over to the great Joanne Massey, who has been a great partner to work with over the years. So Joanne, over to you, my friend.
But by the way, you already got a charter school in the chat that said I'm in, by the way, here in Memphis.
Saw that.
And somebody just said it. Okay, anyway, go ahead. All good. I love the chat. Go ahead, Joanne.
I love the chat too, John, and I'm watching. And let me tell you, I'm at home safely in the house, away from the snowstorm. But I am ready to get out there, get on the phone, call the businesses, call the corporations. I am so excited about this, and quite honestly, I'm humbled to be in this position, to be able to serve my community. The mayor has heard me say it so many times, but Memphis, we can do this. We can do this with our corporations, with our civic leaders, our religious leaders. We can do this, and we will, John. We will be number one in this space for large cities. I can guarantee you that. And all the folks on the phone, on the chat, in the meeting here, we have some civic leaders. We have Commissioner Van Turner here, David Waddell, one of our investment agencies. I see Tracy Ford, and I don't want to name everyone, but John, all of our leaders are right here. So I just want to end and say thank you to everyone for attending this very important virtual event. Thank you, Mayor Strickland, for your leadership. Thank you, President Beverly Robinson, the first Black woman president of the Greater Memphis Chamber. And yes, she is a great leader, a great leader. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Bryant, for not only your continued partnership, but your investment in Memphis, for your passion, commitment. You all have to give space to know that his commitment to investing in Memphis is not something that we should take for granted. And this initiative is just one of an opportunity for us to help ourselves. Thank you, Lance, for keeping us going. Thank you for your leadership and your great partnership that we have. And we definitely talk frequently. So I'm glad to be here with you. And then I want to lastly thank the staff of Operation HOPE in the City of Memphis. My staff, Taylor Tagg, Dante Robichaud, Ashley Robinson, and all those on the Operation HOPE side that pulled this together. For more information on how to enroll, donate, volunteer, partner, you can visit hope1mbb.org. And Taylor's going to go ahead and share screen and put that up there. This now ends our event. But this doesn't end the initiative. This doesn't end our activity. We want to hear from you. You can visit this website. You can visit the Office of Business Diversity and Compliance. Email us, call us. Let's get this done, Memphis. Let's be number one. I'm going to give you back your day. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you so much.
And thank you, Lance.
Thank you, Joanne, for inviting me, and thank you, Chairman Bryant, for all your passion. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Yes.
Get it done party.
I want to be a member of the chamber too.
Yay. Yep.
Right. We've got some great comments in the chat too, everyone. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Right.
God
Thank
bless
you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Right.
Bye.
Thank you, Chairman. Thanks, Lance. Thanks.